Let's use the half angle formula to figure out what sine of 67.5 degrees is equal to. So we have 4 different versions down here of the formula, and we have to make sure we choose the correct one. So for starters, if I see sine and I'm going to use a half angle formula, I want it to be 1 minus instead of 1 plus. So I'm automatically going to say, well, we're not using this one and we are not using this one. So it's got to be either B or C. And then it's either that you have a positive or negative in front of this square root. And how do you figure out which one it is? That depends on this angle here, 67.5 degrees. You can locate where this angle is. By that I mean which of the 4 quadrants contains 67.5 degrees. And from that, you can determine if sine is going to be positive or negative. 67.5 degrees is in the first quadrant, and sine of any angle in the first quadrant is positive. This means that we want to choose C. It's going to be the positive square root of 1 minus cosine of some angle over 2. Okay, the second thing is, well, what is the angle that I'm going to put in place of this cosine? It is going to be double the value that we have here. So if I take 67.5 degrees and I double it, I get 135 degrees. So to simplify this, I know that sine of 67.5 degrees is equal to, again, that's the positive square root of 1 minus cosine of 135 degrees. And that's all over 2. To move forward, I have to, simplify what cosine of 135 degrees is equal to. So that's it. What is cosine of 135 degrees? Well, let's see. I have to locate 135 degrees on this unit circle. I know that's in the second quadrant, so I'm going to start there. I know that it's definitely more than 90 degrees, but less than 180. And in fact, I know it's at a 45-degree angle here. So like if you go backwards 45 degrees from 180, so I'm thinking like, we got 180 degrees, we're taking away 45 degrees, that's equal to 135 degrees. So again, here's 135 degrees. It has a reference angle of 45 degrees. I can use this to figure out cosine of 135 degrees. So what is cosine of 135 degrees? That is either equal to cosine of its reference angle, which is 45 degrees, or it's the negative of it. In the second quadrant, cosine is negative, so that means cosine of 135 degrees is the negative of cosine of 45 degrees. And cosine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. All right, to completely simplify this thing here, I'm going to replace this with the negative of root 2 over 2. I'll have a negative, and that makes it positive. So sine of 67.5 degrees is equal to the positive square root of 1 plus root 2 over 2, and that whole thing is divided by 2. This is not considered simplified. We got fractions within fractions. There's another square root. The trick is to multiply every term in the numerator and every term in the denominator by 2. This will be equivalent to the fraction that we start with, and it's going to get rid of this extra fraction. This gives us the square root of 2 plus root 2 all over 4. There's one more thing I see that we can do. If you're taking the square root of a fraction, you can take the square root of just the numerator and the square root of just the denominator. The square root of the denominator actually just turns out to be 2, and this gives me the following final answer. That's the square root of 2 plus the square root of 2, all divided by 2. This is the final answer for sine of 67.5 degrees.